All right, so you are welcome, welcome, welcome. It's your girl, Carlika Katrina Basnight-Menendez. Yes, all of that. And I am the number one black face of women in menopause. And of course, what conversation are we having? You already know menopause, menopause, menopause. So if you're not singing that at your workplace, in your home, all over, we're talking about the first period to the last period, right? And some of you are probably like, I can't wait to get to the last period. And that's why we're having these conversations so you can be better prepared than I was. Because I don't know about you, Dr. Joel. I was not prepared to be thrown into menopause at the age of 30 with a bunch of
Yeah.
pamphlets and booklets and no support and no guidance and no community, looking like what they say, a chicken with her head cut off. I'm like, oh, what is going on here? Like, why am I hot? Why am I flipping the cover on, off? This, y'all, it's real. However, I want you to understand that nothing that we're saying here is giving you a medical diagnosis. This is just for educational purposes and experiences, just so you can have a heads up, have the right questions to ask your providers, right? Whether that's your therapist, whether that's your physician, whether that's your GYN, whoever on your team, right? Because what we need is a whole team to make sure that we are mentally, emotionally, physically, nutritionally, financially well. That's all part of our well-being. And so I want to invite you all. You see the link up here. MenoCon, September 16th through the 17th. You are right here in St. Mary's, Georgia. Oh, I know you're probably like, what? St. Mary's, Georgia, where is that? Don't worry, I had the same exact reaction when we moved here about over 10 years ago, right? I was like, where are we going again? Where's this place of no mall and no anything, right? But you all, this is where it's going to be hosted, right here. Well, now my home, it's not my hometown. Like, y'all see how I had to catch myself, like my hometown? No, where I reside. So we're having it here, and we're just bringing, this is for the everyday woman. A lot of conferences out there for women's well-being per se. It's more for the physicians and the scientists and all these big words that we're like, what? Say that again. Can you break that down? All of those things. So MenoCon, September 16th through the 17th, a 2-day conference. And yes, we'll be talking about menopause, but you all, there's so many more aspects to the word menopause, right? And so we're going to dive in that because I have a great guest with us on today, looking lovely as ever. You all, if you're not following her on Instagram, you should see her and her girls doing TikToks. So like, I watch it all. Okay, you understand? They serving, sassy, like they doing it all the dance moves. But she's giving great content, right, on her social media platforms as well. So Dr. Joelle, welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you so much, Carlika. I love your energy, and I thank you for your platform about menopause. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to be here. And yes, I am Dr. Joy L. I'm a board certified OBGYN, the Menopause Mogul, and I am a business coach for Black professional women who are also menopausal and perimenopausal and wants to launch a business. And what I do is empower Black women to reclaim their power and their me time so they can gain energy, clarity, and focus to launch their own business, reclaim their time, create their life on their own terms, and build their empires even in the menopausal transition. So that is what I do. That is what I love to do. And I'm excited to talk all about it today.
Look, and I'm telling you, find them. Look, you all, if y'all don't know by now, you all know I've been on a search for women of color, right? I've been diving deep. Because we don't see ourselves on Google. And if you don't believe me, you can go look at the pictures yourself. So look, Dr. Joelle, we're going to have to get together and do some branding shoot or something so they can put some of our pictures on.
Right.
on Google. I'm so serious. I'm like, well, we need to have, women of color just stepping out and saying, you know what, I'm speaking up about something that's not mainstream in the media. I'm speaking about all the things that my mama didn't tell me or my grandma didn't know about. Right. Some of them didn't even know they was in menopause. For me, and I love what you're doing, the word empower, right? That we don't have to look sad. We don't have to look stuck. We don't have to look depressed, even though some people go through depression, but there's hope.
Exactly.
Right. There are options.
Yes, there are options. Exactly. It is not all about doom and gloom. This can be the best time of your life. Like literally, it can be the best time.
And you're right, because so I know perimenopause by the book. I didn't get an opportunity to go through perimenopause, and I don't know if that's a blessing or what. I don't know.
Right.
I don't know. But at 30 years old, and I was thrown into menopause, having a complete hysterectomy due to
Yeah.
endometriosis, right? Another topic that's kind of like, we don't really want to say too much about that, especially in our community when we are the higher percentage for it. We don't want to talk about it, right? And so it's like, but it took a while for them to even come to that treatment plan per se, right? I mean, I was in pain for a few years and having to go back and forth to various doctors with no answers. You just get my copay and I ain't getting no answers. So let us know, how long have you been practicing? Where do you practice? And then let's even dive in, because you see this all the time. How are patients even, they're coming to you with some of their issues, whether that's menopausal or different things. So just dive in that for us.
Yeah. So I have been practicing for about 13 years. I was in a group private practice, and I actually resigned so I can full-time coach my women, which I resigned last year. I'm so excited to be in this space because and one of the reasons why I resigned, because of I saw so many women who are struggling with perimenopause and menopause, and it's just not enough time, to be honest, in the office to just have these conversations. Like I felt very limited, and I just felt very I couldn't give my full potential, a full, just full on, like, go all out and help women, because I was so limited by time and the restrictions of the office and all these things like we do in practice. So as a full-time entrepreneur and a business coach for women who are going through this transition in their lives, it's just so liberating to be able to be available to them through this it can, like I said, it definitely can be an area where we are, feel like we are struggling. We are not feel like we're struggling. Like we can be feeling really struggling. And I was struggling too, as in my beginning of my journey. But yeah, women were coming in, just feeling lost, feeling unheard, because they went to another doctor and was like, well, I don't know what this is. This is not perimenopause. It come with all the symptoms, hot flashes, mood swings, all the things, and was still told they weren't menopausal or perimenopausal. I'm like, so what did they say it was? What did they say? Like, what was the diagnosis then? Because I mean, you're this old. I mean, not to say, I know you were thrown in it, unfortunately, at the age of 30, but women who are the, perimenopausal age, which can be as early as late 30s or 39. Right. Like myself, I started at 39. So when they came into me and they're like, yeah, I'm having these symptoms, but they said it's not this, so I don't know what's going on. And I'm just like, really? So that was very frustrating to me.
Let's stop there. So when you're seeing this on a constant basis, and I went through it my own self, like, even though I was thrown into it, just the pain and different things, and they're like, oh, you're too young, you're too young, you're too young, you're too young. And I still get that today. Oh, you're too young to be in menopause. And I'm like, say what?
Right.
Have you had hot flashes?
Exactly. Right.
Have you had have to deal with yourself mentally after having the hysterectomy? Have you had some vaginal dryness that's like rubbing sandpaper, two pieces of sandpaper together? Like, don't tell me I'm too young. Let me tell you the story.
My body says different.
Exactly. So, and you hear that so often because of, like you said. So first of all, let me pause. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Becoming just a full-time entrepreneur, because there are a lot of women that is a goal, right? And they have this fear, or they have or they just don't have a plan, right?
Yeah,
to say, but you have a prime example right here, right? I have not, I'm not full-time yet. I have to, be very careful with your wording. I'm not full-time yet, but it's okay to reach for those goals. And so when you're seeing these women and you're like, you know what, I don't have enough time in the office because 10 minutes top?
15 minutes. Like, menopause is so complex, and they want me to, listen to you, listen to your symptoms, make a diagnosis, and give a treatment plan all in 15 minutes. Like, no.
Right, because it's not a one size fits all. So it's not like, hey, let me give you this. No, it is really a part of listening and trying to have a real dialogue between you and the patient. And sometimes I mean, I'm sure in your experience, you probably had to just pull the things out of the patient as well because they don't know what's going on. So when you have women like that who were coming, well, now we're going to move from the office. You out the office. So you in your own lane, right? So now empowering women and spending that time with them and giving them that, because what we're finding is a lot of women like, I don't have support.
Right. Mm-hmm.
I don't have community. Who can I talk to?
Right.
Look, you all got a Dr. Joelle in your life, right? So while we can put a pin right there, what programs or what do you offer so that our listeners, they can know like, hey, this is what I offer.
Yeah, thank you for asking. So my Menopause Moguls is an online group coaching program that I specifically designed for Black women to reclaim their power, so they can gain energy and clarity and focus to launch their business. At the end of the program, they actually launch a business, and we go through multiple modules in regards to basically really focusing and nourishing ourselves mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, all of that, so that we can now move forward to do and execute the task, rewire and get a mogul mindset so they can launch their business. And that's what I offer. And I'm, like I said, I truly, truly love it. And it's just like, it's just a different level.
Look, if y'all don't take nothing else, get your mogul mindset. We're going to get your menopause mogul mindset.
Exactly.
Right? Menopause mogul mindset. And mindset is so huge.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Oh my God. Like, even in the Bible, Paul said, renew your mind daily, right? And so when I say the mind, that mental state, even though I was having some mental issues per se, just accepting the fact, though I had my children, I was and I knew I didn't want no more. Okay, let's be very clear.
Yeah.
I want no more.
Right.
Done. But the mental behind it. And so you said for yourself, you started perimenopause at 39. How was your journey for yourself?
Yeah, so I woke up after my 39th birthday, soaking wet. And I was like, and my birthday's in July. So I'm like, okay, so maybe, I got overheated. It's summer. Like, all right, whatever. And then it kept happening again and again and again. I'm like, and I'm an OBGYN. So I kind of like, is this nice ones? Like, for real? Like, what? Nah. But then actually,
happy birthday, right?
Right, exactly. I'm like, but wait a minute. Like, can I at least be like 40? Like, I just turned 39. Like, come on, God. Like, for real? But then I got pregnant with my son, my third child, a few months later. So, went through pregnancy. And then after I had him a month before my 40th birthday. So no 40th birthday party for me. Okay. So after I stopped breastfeeding, which was about 6 or 7 months, the night sweats came back with a vengeance. Mood swings, irritability, acne. Like, oh my gosh, I would cuss my face out in the morning, every morning. Like, what is this? Like really, like real cuss words. Right, exactly. And I really got to a point where I did not like myself because I was so just irritated even going into the office. I just didn't want to be bothered. And that wasn't like me. Like I was always like, hey, how you doing? La la la. And I got to a point like, so what are you in here for? In the office. And like
do you see my face?
Okay? Right. Like I would rather be home right now. Okay. Like, so, and what really changed it for me where I really decided I need to do something is when I was so exhausted, driving home with my kids after I came from the office, picking my kids up in daycare and at school. I was driving home and I was so tired that I was falling asleep at the wheel. Asleep at the wheel at the light, right? So I remember wishing I had those toothpicks to like hold my eyes open. I turned the radio up. I was trying to drink water, took the window down. And I remember praying, God, like, please get me home with my kids. My kids in the back eating snacks and like, la, 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 watching a little movie in the back. Everything is all good while mommy is like trying to get it.
Like, look, you're like, I wish one of y'all could drive, okay?
Right, exactly. Somebody just take over because I'm tired.
Right? Jesus, take the whole wheel. Let one of these children drive.
Right, exactly. But that was the turning point where I was like, you need to do something. You cannot. This is not sustainable. And that's when I decided to really focus on me because by that point I was really, like a lot of women, like we just take care of everybody else and really forget about ourselves. And I really
Yeah.
had to make that change. So yeah, that's how my journey started.
Wow. But I think that is so important, right? Because that's how people relate to us. They're able to say, okay, you know what, they're having a real conversation and they're not just talking about things because of expertise or this, but they've actually, because a lot of people are like, well, if you haven't been through it, now certain things we ain't got to go through, right? I don't need to be a
Right.
drug addict to know that drugs ain't good.
Exactly. Right. Right.
And I'm not shaming anyone if that's your addiction or anything. We're praying for you. Like for real,
Mm-hmm.
real talk. We're
Mm-hmm.
praying for you. But certain things, I don't have to run out in the middle of the street to know if I run out on 95, I have the possibility of getting hit, right? Certain things I don't have to do. But when we see ourselves and when we see in our people see in our communities that, you know what, women of color are speaking up
Yes.
about, and you all, I keep referencing women of color because we're highly underrepresented, right, in so many facets of the world.
Right.
Healthcare is one of them. And so
Mm-hmm.
we're shedding more light that healthcare, there are discrepancies in the healthcare world as well. I remember I was having some problems with my stomach. I remember one of the nurse practitioner telling me, I said, well, this medicine it seems like it's just making me sicker. Oh, I just think it's all in your head.
Mm.
Excuse me.
Mm.
Right.
Mm. Mm.
So
Mm.
she was alluding to these pain pills as if I was a drug. Ma'am, I brought you all the pills to show you that I ain't even barely taking this stuff because I felt it was just making me
Yeah.
worse.
Right. Right.
So I, had the Holy Ghost tell her off in the name of Jesus. Um, right. In the name of Jesus, had to tell it, and then had to gladly let her, you can't even write these pain pills. So like, how you complaining? Like you're not even the person I need to talk to. But
Right.
saying all of that to say, if we don't really advocate for
Mm.
ourselves, or we can find other people that can say, hey, make sure you ask your doctor this. And so
Yes.
that you can have an informed conversation, because this is the thing, when we go to the doctor, if I came to you, I'm only going to tell you what's been going on.
Right.
Right. And so
Right.
then you're going to base a treatment plan and different things. You may run some other tests and all of these things, but you're going to base it upon my conversation. You said something as well. You began not to like yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And menopause is one of those things. Yes, we can thrive, but there's so many women's like, I'm just losing myself. I don't feel like myself.
Right.
Whether that's in the bedroom, whether that's in the boardroom, wherever
Yes.
that may
Wherever.
be,
Mm-hmm.
even with their children and different things, they're like, I just don't feel like me. And so it can mess with your self-esteem, right?
Yeah.
It can
Yes.
mess with your sensuality. It messes with you mentally because, like you said, this wasn't me, right? So
Right.
I'm not. We got the same kind of characteristics. I'm the only one. How you doing?
Yeah.
So what they call them, social butterflies and stuff. That's just my character. But then I found myself just being like, I'm over this. I'm exhausted. But then when you go into the places of work and different things, they don't care about you being exhausted.
Right.
They're not even asking why
Yeah.
you're a few minutes late. They're not even asking, why she moving? Like, this is not her, really. They typically don't even ask because they have an expectation
Right.
that you're just okay, and leave everything else that you're dealing with on the outside before you get out the car, leave it in the parking lot. But the reality of it is, we don't leave menopause in the car.
Yeah. No.
We don't leave it like where you was picking up the kids from daycare. We don't leave it, hey, menopause, I'll pick you back up at 5
Mm.
p.m.
Mm-hmm.
That's not how
Mm-hmm.
it works. And so
Right.
how are you able to, once you even saying, you know what, let me focus on me? What are some things that you did to focus on you so you could feel like yourself?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, you touched on a lot of things that, you know, being able to actually, what I call, self work, like self awareness, really being aware of what your body, your mental and physical changes that you're going through. And then self advocacy, being able to, actually ask for figuring out before figuring out what you need and what you want, and then actually asking for that. And that also includes boundaries, right?
Yes.
So for me, I felt that I had to really change, my actual time in the office, like at work. So I changed my hours. Like I can't work from, 8 a.m. to 4. I got to come in a little bit later, you know? So that, that was one thing. And then really also the other self-work is self-care, right? So really taking the time to pour into me, because I was like, self-care, my thought of self-care before was like, oh, I'll just go to the spa, twice a month and I'll be good. Like, no, girl, you need more than that. You need more. You need a daily practice, which is what I coach my clients. So I really started taking daily work of me actually focusing quiet time just on Joyelle, and that's it. No mommy me, no wifey this. Like, no, this is just me. So whether it's, my daily meditation, prayer, my daily devotional, light my good smelling candles, listen to my gospel music, like all those things, starting my day with that actually made a huge difference. So I was actually able to, once I kind of made my cup full, I was able to kind of give more out to my family, to my patients, to do the things that I needed to do. So that was, and then, obviously other things in regards to really focusing on what I was eating and how much exercise I was doing, those type of things too. Again, all part of self-care and just really doing the things that my body and my mind needed in order for me to feel energized and renewed so I can go out into the world and show up like I really wanted to.
Wow. So you all look, because I respect Dr. Joyelle's time. Look, we could talk all day. I'm telling you.
We can't talk all day.
Y'all stay tuned, because this is just the beginning. This is just the beginning. But all in all, lifestyle changes, right? If we sum that up in one word, what habits do you need to break and what habits do you need to make? Let me say that again. What habits do you need to break and what habits do you need to make so that you can create that business, so you can write that book, so you can, whatever it is that you want to do, right? Just reclaiming, like she said, your power, your energy, being just self-aware of what is it that I need at this moment, at this time, and let me serve myself, because everyone may not come and serve you, but how can I serve me, right? How can I show up for me? And then she said, you know what? Now I can go out and pour into my children. Now I can pour into my spouse. And now, of course, she can pour into you all, right? She can pour into the women in her community and those that will be joining, saying, you know what, Dr. Joyelle, I'm ready to start that business and everything. But menopause does not have to stop you at all. I know I feel fearless. I feel amazing. I'm 42 and I'm like, I'm just getting started.
Yes. Exactly.
I'm just started, right? Like, it's not a death sentence.
No.
I'm just getting started. So Dr. Joyelle, let everyone know what's the best way they can connect with you, or they can find your program or find more information. Let us know.
Yes, thank you. So they can connect with me on Instagram or Facebook at Dr. Joyelle, DrJoyel. And then more information about my program is on my website, drjoyelle.com.
See, you all, that's business branding right there. Keep it simple that people can repeat and they can refer. I'm just saying, because some of y'all got too many handles going on. That's the business. That's just business. Keeping it simple across the board, keeping it consistent. And that's what we're even saying with menopause. It's not a one size fits all, but with the right tools, with the right community, with the right support, you can thrive and do the things that God has called you to do. So Dr. Joy, I just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. You all, this is the first conversation, but it surely isn't the last. And if you're in the middle of your first period to your last period, then you want to connect with Dr. Joyelle as well. So you can say, you know what? I don't even know if I'm in perimenopause. I don't know if I'm in menopause. What is it? Right? What is it? Definitely connect with her on her Instagram handles and check out her website. You all remember MenoCon, September 16th through the 17th, right here in St. Mary's, Georgia. More information will be posting soon. We're getting ready to rev it up with everything with it, but it's going to be an amazing time for all of us to come together. The everyday woman, right, who's saying, you know what, I'm not going to suffer in menopause, but I'm going to thrive, and it's not going to rule my life. I'm going to take back my power, like Dr. Joyelle said, empower, educate, and encourage you. And so, Dr. Joyelle, any last words you want to share with our audience before we go on off of here?
Yeah, I mean, I basically co-sign everything you just said.
Well, she said, I stamp and approve it.
I stamp and approve it. Definitely empower, encourage, enlighten, like all the things. Like you said, you do not have to be barely surviving menopause. You can certainly thrive in this stage of life. This can be the best time of your life. Yeah. So that's all.
All right, you all.
Thank you.
So until the next time, we are doing our Menopause March Madness. Menopause March Madness. We're not mad, okay? Don't take that literal. You see us smiling. We got great energy, okay? Now, don't catch me in the middle of a hot flash. I might snap off a wig, might show some skin. But either way, you all, thank you for tuning in, and make sure when you change your perspective, you will change your life. I am your host, Carlika Katrina Basnight-Menendez. Yes, all of that.